What's up, YouTube? Sitting in my pop-up camper that I rehabbed 2 years ago. And when I say rehab, that basically just painted everything and replaced some serious parts in the floor using epoxy and plywood. The problem we have in this camper right now is the cables that raise and lower the roof are bound up somewhere inside the camper. One corner, the front corner there, will not lower. So tearing it all apart, and I just wanted to show you what I found and how I'm going to fix it. I hope. Fingers crossed. Okay, for those of you not familiar with how these systems work, basically there's a pulley system. When you crank the pop-up camper crank that's at the back of most campers, it pulls pressure, forcing these springs up into the shaft of the poles that are outside. There's four poles that hold up the roof. And these springs, and they look like springs, but they're not very springy. They're basically just to have a little bit movement back and forth. That's why they're that made of that material. It basically forces pressure by pulling on the pulleys with the crank to push these up. And as it pushes them up, it raises the roof. The problem we're having is our wires are binding right in there. You can see I did a little stopgap fix last year, which is basically two washers, one below and one above, on a big huge bolt that goes through the floor system and into the metal frame, just to guide it and get it through. However, that guide was working up until it bent forward a little bit. It was definitely a temporary fix, and it's not going to work out long term. So we're going to take this whole guide out that guides the spring up to the roof system, and see what's binding up in there and see what we can do about it. Okay, so this is the piece I removed, and that's basically supposed to be in the corner. Normally the cables would come from this end, like I showed in the last part of the video, and turn right around this pulley, and this is the corner of the camper. So as you can see, what we thought was right, that pulley is blown out, shot out, done. It looks like it was two pulleys in there, and I guess who had the camper before us had some issues with the guiding of these wires and had some pressure and just kept on winding all the time and basically blew both of those pulleys out. Let's see if I can better focus. That looks like two pulleys to me, just really squeezed to garbage. And some of this pulling and bending in the metal is me manipulating this thing to get it out. So I think my basic plan is run to Home Depot, see what kind of small pulleys I could find. I don't really expect much in the way of good ones. I don't want to use plastic anymore. There's just too much pressure, so I'm going to try and find metal. And we'll see how we do to try and get some new pulleys in here rather than try and rework this system with another temporary fix like I did last time. You can see the nice epoxied plywood floor is still intact and doing real well. So we just got to get this repaired and hopefully back in, because we have one more camping trip this year, so it's got to be ready. Wish me luck. One eternity later. Alright guys, I'm in luck. Metal pulley, approximately the right size. Let me turn this camera around. That's not gonna turn around. So, metal pulley, looks like it might fit in there perfectly. Just like the old one, they're approximately the same size, and this one's metal. So it's time to start digging this one out, get rid of this. Maybe I'll try and drill out the rivet on the bottom that holds this in, and then use my own screw or bolt through the top to secure this and get these cables back where they're supposed to be. Ooh, success. Got that one out. And wow, that cable basically indented not just through the pulley but all the way to the pin. Look at that divot in that pin from pulling on that cable too hard. Brutal. I'm gonna definitely have to put something strong inside the middle, but it's never gonna get that far in because the new pulley is not plastic. So I think we're gonna be all right. That's progress. Now I just gotta get all that garbage out. Sorry about the focus, but I got one hand here. There it is. Horribly mangled pulley removed. Yeah, that was in a bad way. That was blown out pretty good. And I wasn't going to move this heavy 1992 pop-up camper roof up and down. Alright, next step. Cleaning this mangled metal up and then getting a new pulley in here. Getting this new pulley in place and getting this all put back together. I'm going to try and hold this while I do it so you guys can see how this goes back together. Stopgap. This little stopgap idea I had last year to get us through. It worked. Not my proudest moment though. That is a socket squeezed between two washers with a bolt going through it down through the floor. It eventually bent. It was straight up in the air and worked great. I guess the pressure finally got to it though. Not my proudest moment, but it worked while it had to, but that thing's got to come out now. Okay. I just gently place the pulley in there. So I can get this back in. That actually wasn't too shabby. Okay. Where it's supposed to be. Just gonna get that pulley in where it's supposed to, exactly where it's supposed to be, and put the screw down and bolt everything back together like it was. This looks a little stripped, but we'll figure that out too. Well, all right, I think we have the spring back to its original positioning. It's pretty straight coming out of the shaft that goes up to the roof, straight down this little curve. I don't know if you can see that's a curve. There's a little plastic piece that goes in that curve. You could add a little silicone to that so it's a smooth ride going up and down, and then it goes into the shaft out towards the crank. Looks pretty straight to me. We got two screws that have to go into the sidewall there. Looks like I'm gonna have to reinforce those screws as I put those in or find a better hole. Okay, so here you have it, folks. It's all set. It's probably better than factory because it's a metal pulley. Here they work. All done and cleaned up. Just raised the roof and brought it down completely with no issues. There's tension on the lines. It's holding very well. No movement. And we're good to go. We're ready to go camping. I'm going to tighten these screws in a little bit more, and then we're done. I'm putting my tools away. Okay, we're all done here. So if you enjoyed the video, got any information out of it, or have any questions or comments, please comment below. And as always, please like and subscribe to the video.